I'm also surprised that any president of the United States, would be meeting with somebody who is under federal criminal investigation. I understand the president's last attorney isn't available. He's in jail. But it doesn't seem like a particularly good idea.
Let me ask about the issue that Lev Parnas that they're trying to revoke his bail here. Considering the fact that they arrested these two gentlemen as they were about to leave the country, were you surprised they were offered bail?
I was. So, look, that is a decision by a federal magistrate judge. Different judges see it in different ways. I would have made the argument that he's obviously a risk of flight, that his ties to this community, the community in which he'll be tried, are not that strong, particularly if he's buying a one-way ticket, first class, to get out of here. Some judges believe that that would be sufficient and probably would have ordered him held. This particular judge did not see it that way. Prosecutors were probably a bit less than pleased. And so when they found out that Mr. Parnas had lied to them about his assets and, importantly, the source of those assets, I think they properly moved to revoke his bond.
Hello, YouTubers. If you're watching this, it means you've checked out our channel, so thank you. Now do me a favor, subscribe by clicking on that button down there. Click on any of the videos to watch the latest interviews and highlights from MTP Daily and MSNBC. You can get more Meet the Press content every morning in the First Read newsletter. If you're tired of content that you don't know anything about where it came from, you don't have to have that problem with us. NBC News, MSNBC, MTP, and the Meet the Press mindset right here for you on YouTube. Subscribe now.